my friends. Welcome back to the Chronicles from the Upper Deck podcast. I think it's too early to say Happy New Year. Why did you resurrect this podcast? A couple days into February, or almost at the end of February. And I just said, let's just do it. So, welcome to Chapter 32 of the Chronicles from the Upper Deck podcast. I'm your host, Derrick. Today's guest is my first female guest that I've ever had on this show. Excited to finally make that history. Zoila Herrera will be sitting in my guest chair. If you don't know Zoila, very inspirational story of just overcoming health obstacles in her way to play Division II golf at Wheeling University in Wheeling, West Virginia. We learned a lot of West Virginia geography in this episode, as well as just how we met, which was at the First Tee Alumni Summit. So really excited to have her on. And I can tell you right now, out of the 32 chapters that I've done for this podcast, this one is the most time I've either laughed or just done a bunch of like crazy facial expressions since this episode is available on my YouTube channel. Don't forget, like, subscribe on the YouTube channel, Derrick Ow, and that's where all our video interviews will be, and all of our podcast interviews will be as well. Um, as I try to venture out of the YouTube space a little bit, try to grow the channel. Of course, this podcast is also available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and whatever podcast you listen to, excluding MySpace. So I know a lot of people are asking, what made you want to come back on February the 24th, 2025? I've been keeping a little bit quiet, just trying to continue to learn at my internship, just trying to get back into announcing. Did a couple games for Santa Clara University, but I just felt like it was time to get in the space. Obviously, we've been in I would say, a confusing time in our country. Since then, we've had the tragic fires down in Southern California, and we're continuing to help those that are recovering from these fires, just the devastation that happened in Altadena and Pacific Palisades, Malibu. Just so many businesses and lives changed forever. And so at the end of this episode, I will put the donation links in the YouTube bio as well, and also in the podcast page to help our friends down in Southern California as they continue to start the rebuilding efforts, which will take a very long time. And like I said, our thoughts, our prayers are with the families who've lost loved ones in that. And by the way, shout out to all the first responders, firefighters, nurses, doctors, police officers. Shout out to all of them, because the firefighters especially helped prevent this fire from getting bigger. And just thank you so much to all of our firefighters. For those that are local down in the LA County area and also Cal Fire, we had a couple of local fire departments here from Monterey County and Santa Cruz and San Benito County go down there. So thank you for their service as well. And also to the other states who helped in the firefighting efforts. Thank you for just your service and just helping out the cause. And also, moving away from that, we do have a new president. President Trump is about what, a month, 35 days into his term. Um, I try not to speak on politics on the show. I really try not to. I think it's just so hard to just try and stay silent when there's just so much hatred being spewed out by this administration. So much targeted attacks towards undocumented immigrants, the transgender community, um, just so much hatred and just bigotry going on. Um, there's just a lot of really horrendous things that this current administration has done. They're trying to cut back funding on national park services. They're trying to, get rid of USAID, trying to really get rid of Department of Education, which will hurt, his supporters and his supporters that helped him win those states in the red states, especially in the southern east part of the United States. Um, so it's just really bizarre how they're going about it. And I think I heard him say, or I heard an interview on NPR, maybe it was on another political channel, on how he's trying to pass all these things, shock and awe. and trying to see what he can get away with. And you're seeing a lot of federal judges, rightfully so, block a couple of those regarding immigration law, regarding, the federal aid freeze. It's just so bizarre. I mean, everybody, 77 million people, you guys wanted the sequel, but like I said, the sequel's turned into like Jaws 2, Jaws 3. Not a good ending. Um, so it's going to be interesting to see how this administration continues to just, I wouldn't say unravel because that's not the right word, but just continuing to not listen to all Americans. And when you have a tech billionaire who should be using his genius to help improve the lives of others and not destroy them, basically controlling the government, that's called an oligarchy. And that's not going to last. And it'll be interesting to see how long that relationship, that partnership that the president has with the tech billionaire. And I think you guys know who I mentioned, who I'm talking about when I say tech billionaire in the White House. So it should be interesting. We'll see. Like I said, it's just chaotic times, and all you can do is just stand up for those that are marginalized, stand up for those that um, are getting constantly targeted, and just be there for your loved ones that are being on the receiving end of those targets. And it's just so disturbing and disheartening that once again, this president continues to be a president just for his crew and not for all Americans. Because at the end of the day, no matter what your political party is, no matter, who's in the Oval Office near the Resolute desk, be a president for all Americans. That's all I ask. And if you're not going to be a president for all Americans, then maybe you should not be in office at all. And then lastly, I'm going to end the intro with some sports here. As you know, we watched the Four Nations face off, which kudos to the NHL. They've kind of surpassed the NBA when it comes to All-Star activities. We had that going on. We had the All-Star game going on also, the NBA All-Star game in San Francisco, the third time that the All-Star game has been in the Bay Area. Just a really bizarre weekend. I mean, Steph didn't do the three-point shootout, and he doesn't really need to. I think the NBA just fumbled so many opportunities when it came to All-Star Weekend. I think one was, you know, Sabrina versus Steph. Sabrina from Miramonte High School across the bay, and you couldn't even do that in both their backyards. That's a joke. Um, I think that was one, fumble the bag number one. Fumble the bag number two was just this new bizarre all-star bracket that they did. And I get it. I think it was kind of more of a celebration for TNT, which should still be having the NBA, but that's for another podcast down the road. I just didn't like it. I didn't like the stop starts of it. Didn't like how Kevin Hart needed to insert himself to be the MC. I mean, it's basketball. It's not the Academy Awards and all the stop and starts. I didn't really like that delayed. Um, and lastly, I think number three was All-Star Saturday Night. Um, and one player in particular on Sunday. I think All-Star Saturday Night needs some tweaking. I don't think the slam dunk contest should be the main event. It should be flipped with the three-point shootout because everybody's shooting three-pointers. And if you're going to make the slam dunk contest a main event, have a home play, have a player from the host team participate in that. Because besides Mac McClung and Stephon Castle, I didn't know the two other cats. So the NBA just really didn't market it well. And also LeBron for, kind of pulling out the 11th hour, kind of just it was just kind of bewildering that he would do that. And I know he's trying to protect himself to continue the Lakers playoff push with his new teammate, Luka Doncic, with that trade happened during our hiatus. Um, so it's just really, it was just a bizarre weekend, but a celebration, though, for Bay Area basketball and for Stephen Curry and for what the Warriors have built over the past decade plus of making sure that they're in the upper echelon of NBA teams and, obviously from their franchise value skyrocketing continuing to skyrocket. So it's just a celebration. But I think, like I said, if the All-Star game, if you want to make it an actual All-Star game, put USA versus the world. That's the only format that should be. Stop with the target scores. We want to see USA versus the world. And if you want to up the stakes a little bit, and if you want to keep East Coast, Eastern Conference versus Western Conference, the winner of the game has home field advantage, home court advantage for the finals, the conference. So, like I said, it's bizarre, but I'm not running the league, and I'm too smart to run the league. As for the NHL, kudos to them. They did an awesome international tournament with Finland, Sweden, US, and Canada. I think the USA Canada games were like the most watched in about 10 years. So kudos to everybody involved with that. I hope they continue to keep that tournament and maybe swap out, Sweden with Finland with Czech Republic or other countries, because hockey is a growing sport around the world. I would love to see other countries involved. And to me, that should just replace the All-Star game in general, just a mini international tournament. And it was good to finally see a best on best competition in men's hockey because that's been missing with elite hockey for the past two Winter Olympic Games. And of course, the NHL players are returning to the Olympics next year in Milan. Super excited for that. Like I said, it was just a great week. It was a great week and a half for hockey. And if you're a hockey nut like I am, what a beautiful time it was. And, obviously kind of broken heart in Canada, broke our hearts. I guess we're the 11th province now. So shout out to Connor McDavid for making that happen. Just kidding. But yeah, what a beautiful time it was. And the NHL is on fire right now. Hockey is on fire right now. Hopefully they can continue that momentum as a whole. And like I said, would love to see more of these international tournaments take place over the All-Star break. And obviously, we got the World Cup of Hockey coming back in the year, in 2027, I believe, after the Olympics. So it'd be nice to see that. So I'm excited, man. Hockey, like I said, if you're not a hockey fan, become one because it's the best team live sporting event you can go to. It's the best team sport you can go to and watch in person. All right, I've talked enough. Coming up next, Zoila Herrera on the other side. You're watching and listening to the Chronicles from the Upper Deck podcast. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Chapter 32 of the Chronicles from the Upper Deck podcast. And it's taken me 2.5 years since I started the show back in summer 2022. Didn't realize it would take me this long, but we're making history. My first female guest. I'm excited. It's been too long. I know a lot of my viewers and listeners like, Derrick, what took you so long? Listen, it's just about timing. Life is about timing. So my first guest, I met her a couple months ago in Phoenix, Arizona. I know this is going to get into a long-winded story. She's an alumni of the First Tee of Miami. She played college golf at Wheeling University in West Virginia. I know people are going to be able to ask, where the heck is that school? Don't worry, we'll cover it right now. She's a fellow First Tee alumni. I'm honored to have her on my show, ladies and gentlemen, in West Virginia right now, but out of Miami, Florida. Zoila Herrera. Zoila, what's up? Yay, we're making history. Let's go.
Yay!
How's it going?
Yay! It's so good. Thank you for having me on your show, Derek.
No problem. And I know a lot of our First Tee alumni are going to be watching this, critiquing it, taking notes. Yes, by the way, folks, I'm wearing this light blue hoodie. So we got this in Arizona, so I figured I needed to wear it in honor of having Zoila on our show today, and just a blossoming friendship that started. It's been 3 or 4 months now, and we've talked,
Yeah.
through different technology messages. We have two group chats for whatever reason. And I know we're
Because of
going
your
off
your
this,
Samsung.
we're going off into Storyville. This might take like a 4 hour interview here. But yeah, I guess there's two different group chats because folks, I'm just gonna point out my phone right now, and because of this phone, I'm an Android user, and apparently the cat got let out of the bag. The TMZ investigative team at First Tee decided to start a group chat.
Allison.
We could have done like it had to do with the texting bubbles or whatever. Long story short, I'm the only one that had an Android there, and I did not get roasted at all. Wink. But yeah, it's an honor to have her on my show. So Zoila, you ready to go? We're about to start.
Do it.
All right, so usual tradition on my show, we always start with the icebreaker, and that's a first tee tradition that I guess I didn't steal. I bought over. It's, like I said, no copyright, so hopefully I don't get sued here. So 5 questions. You and I are both going to answer these questions. You had no idea that I was going to ask you these, and yeah, let's get going. So, first one, would you rather have a new boat or a new car?
That's hard. Did I already have a boat in this situation? Because you said new.
So I wrote this question because I thought of Florida, the Florida Keys right there. If you're living
I
in
have a
Miami
boat
Beach.
tattoo. I literally have a boat tattoo.
Okay.
That's why this is so hard for me. I have an old car and really want a new one.
Okay, we'll go with the new car.
Yeah, I think I'll do the new car. I
Yeah.
have friends that have boats. I guess we'll do that.
Yeah, and I like to I know how to swim. I'm not really an ocean guy though, because I don't want to get stuck like Leo and Kate Winslet in Titanic. But
Yeah.
like my history teacher said, if you watch that movie backwards, it's a happy ending. Not supposed to be a joke. I know people are not laughing; they don't get it because VHS kids back in the day, we used to watch things on VHS, late '90s.
Yeah.
Rewind, you're back to the beginning of the movie. Okay, moving on. Who is in your dream foursome group in golf?
Oh, you know what? I was just thinking about this the other day.
Oh shoot.
Um, Not Horn,
Okay.
not Horn, Noah Khan, and not like I don't want to keep it to like just like people outside of golf,
And it's
but
hard. Yeah, it's hard.
yeah. You know, I'm gonna throw in a woman in there and Nelly Corda.
Okay, I like that. I
Yes.
thought you were gonna go with Allison Mulan, Cameron Smith, but we have that's like a first tee. Let's rent the golf
That's
course
not my
party.
dream. I can definitely coordinate that. Okay, let's take it. While it is a pleasure, I can definitely coordinate seeing all of the people.
Let's see. So it's hard, it's hard to do foursome. I think golf is that one activity where like 50 billion people, and you just like played in a foursome group. Um,
Hmm.
let's see. Should I do the? I'll do the really sweet one and the politically correct answer. My dad, my uncle, my sister. Okay, so, oh, how cute. Um, celebrity wise, I'd say Alan Shipnuck, who I previously had on the show, fellow Salinas native, golf writer. Uh, my first tee open partner, Michael Allen, also a NorCal native. Shout out, Michael Allen. And then I think the last one, I know people want me to say Tiger. That's the popular answer. I think everybody wants me to say Tiger, but I'm gonna go with Ricky Fowler. Don't know why. I need a fun vibes
No,
guy.
that would be fun. That would be fun. Ricky
Yeah.
looks like he's a hoot on the golf course.
Yeah, I
I've
need a
met him once. He's really
yes.
nice.
Same. Yeah, I thought he was the guy working for Red Bull when he was sponsored, and he had a gray hoodie. This was at a banquet at Pebble Beach, 2012. Yeah, so this is when the long hair was out, mustachio like mine. And then my dad and my mom and I and my sister did a double take. And we're like, who the hell's that? I'm like, oh, that's Ricky Fowler. Like, oh, damn.
Yeah, he
Oh,
doesn't look like a golfer because he's so
yeah. I
laid
mean,
back.
the only guy in a Red Bull like motocross hoodie. So those were the days with Ricky. All right. If you had one round to play in your life, one round left, what course would you choose and why?
The course is no longer open.
Oh, okay.
But if I had to pick one course, it would be Melreese, International Links Melreese. That is the course that I grew up on. And it has sadly been taken away now because they're
Hmm.
building the MLS stadium
Oh, right.
on it.
Yeah.
So it's no longer there.
Oh, we'll blame
Yes.
we'll blame Mr. Messi on that one if he
Yeah.
decides to play
No,
the
Mr.
one.
Beckham.
And Mr. Beckham too with all the
Mr.
tats.
Beckham.
Yeah. This is going to be the easiest question I'll answer all day. Pebble Beach Golf Leagues. I mean, I live 40 minutes away, and I know a lot of people. Cameron Smith, shout out to Cameron Smith, our sister Cameron, says, "Oh, you're so lucky to live here." Carrington Beggs, shout out to KB Carrington Beggs, who I
All love.
I will have Rod, Chase, Scrubus, everybody, DJ Johnson. I can name all, but we don't have the time of day. This is about Zoila after all. So I know you mentioned before we hit the record button, it was National Margarita Day, which I had no idea. So this ties in pretty good. Your go-to karaoke song.
Fat Bottom Girls by Queen.
Okay, I like that pick.
Yes.
Uh, I want to see Chaperone get a bigger catalog for me to start seeing, and I think I got to get really like knocked
Yes, he
out.
needs to
Like,
start doing the hot to go.
yeah, Kaylin Anderson. Shout out to Kaylin Anderson. I didn't know what the hell I was doing on the bus.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
no, me either.
yeah, I didn't know what the hell was going on. I'm a Johnny Cash guy, so Johnny Cash, Ring of Fire. Yeah,
Oh, good
Johnny
one,
Cash,
good
Ring of
one.
Fire. Yeah.
You
This
get real low like Johnny.
Yeah, I'm down, down in the burning ring of fire, and it burns, burns, burns. There you go. Shout out, voice, hit me up. Um,
Yes.
Last icebreaker question: what day in your life would you like to relive?
That's a good one. Probably the day that I celebrated my 21st birthday.
Yeah.
That's probably what it would be. That was a very fun night. It's a very fun day, very fun weekend. It was a good time.
Sidetrack. So were you in
That's
school?
the first one I can think of off the top of my head. Like,
Okay. I like it. I like it. No
yeah,
judgment. No judgment.
yeah. Had all my friends, all my family.
I love it.
Loved it.
Um, Gosh, I wrote this question and then it's hard to come up with the answers. I think, jeez. I would say it's like 1A, 1B. I think 1A is like graduating from college. And I know it was kind of
That was a
weird
good one too.
because we were the first class out of the pandemic to have an in-person ceremony. Um,
Wow.
and obviously you can only invite like six family and friends. But I think when you graduate in a way, and anything, if you achieve anything large or small, you kind of feel like you're on Everest and like on clouds, like nothing can touch you. So I think that
Um,
would. And obviously, since this is a First Tee branded show, and they're not paying me to say that, by the way, no money's coming my way. Um, I would say First Tee Open, now Pure Insurance Championship. Just that whole entire week was a blur, and I think obviously because of all the obstacles you have to overcome to get there, and me being the hometown boy, the host, I guess you would say, it was an honor
wait,
to.
you played it?
I played in it, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
Derrick!
2015. I'm that old, folks. That's 10 years ago this year. Oh, Lord have mercy.
That
Lord
was the year I
have,
went to high school.
oh, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Woo! Yeah, I get caught in my age because I think Caitlin, she says, "Oh yeah, I'm graduating this year," and then I'm like, "You're graduating this year?" I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I graduated like 3 years ago, and now I'm 27, getting closer to 30.
Mhm.
Yikes! But there we
Yeah,
go.
it's crazy.
The funniest
It's
icebreaker I've ever
crazy.
done was is with you. So congratulations on that. So,
Oh, yay.
and don't worry, the questions will get funnier and funnier. But now we're gonna start our main portion of the interview. So you grew up in Miami. How was your family upbringing, and did you have any siblings growing up?
I'm an only child. I'm an only child, but I have two wonderful stepsisters. My dad just recently got remarried, but he's been with his new wife for 7 years, 8 years. I don't even know how long. Long time. Long enough. But my stepsisters are a little bit older than me. Well, a lot older than me. Like they're in like their late 20s, early 30s, but I'm very close with them. I'm very close with my family, very close with my mom and my dad. Um, yeah, I mean, being a Hispanic household, families first, that's the blood. And I definitely am very close with my family, but I'm also extremely close with my friends. Like I will ride or die for my friends, for my circle. Like, cause I don't have any siblings, so like my girlfriends, those are my sisters. So and like I've met a lot of amazing people and a lot of my best friends through golf, and I think that's like probably one of the best things that golf has brought me too is like my friends. And I've been able to create, like find my own family in that sense too. So yeah, I mean, living in Miami was definitely an interesting one there. Yeah.
Wow. And yeah, that's awesome because I know you were just popular in Arizona. I mean, I would just see like video. Oh, okay, we would sit down, right? Made general portion so that we had meetings, folks. For those of you that don't know, there was the alumni summit was a bunch of like networking meetings, with our alumni group and a lot of like I don't know how many coaches were there, like hundreds of coaches. So the big session, we just sat there. I was just right here talking to Chase and then Luke. Shout out to Luke, our New Hampshire brother. And then the video plays. It's like an alumni, like rah rah. And then I see you on the screen. So, they keep interviewing you, and I'm like, wait, she's in my company.
Yes.
I'm like, oh
A
my
lot of
God. Yeah.
a lot of those interviews were taken at when we were in Atlanta for the PGA Superstore Academy,
Yeah.
and they were like doing a lot of like sessions with the kids, and like we had our like we weren't needed,
Right.
so they
Right.
were like, okay, like let's take you for some interviews, and
Yeah.
they didn't tell us what they were going to be used for or anything, and they were just like, okay, can you explain like because of First Tee, like stuff like that. They just took some like quick B-roll and stuff. Like shout out to those cameramen, I forgot their names, but they're amazing, and I see them at every First Tee event.
Yep. I know. Yeah.
And
Yep.
you know who I'm talking about? The surfer dude with the backwards
Yeah.
hat. Yeah, no,
I
he's
thought his
cool.
name was like Ben or Gary or something like that. Yeah. I've seen him roaming around and I just say,
Can't
what's up?
remember his name off
Yeah.
the top of my head either. But he's cool, and like they were just interviewing all of us. That's why there's a lot of like of interviews with David and KB
Yeah.
and Jay
Yeah.
and me, because like I mean we were like the poster children for those times.
Shout out to Jay, by the way. I met him in Arizona, and
Yes,
I think you guys had a prior friendship. But Jay is one of the coolest dudes that I met
he is.
at Club 455, which we'll get into. What the hell does that mean? We'll tell you a backstory later in the interview here. What were some of the earliest memories on a golf course for you?
Oh. Um, I started golf when I was 11 in the sixth grade. Um, like I went to an all-girls school, so we didn't have any like sports or anything. That wasn't like their main priority, but they had like extracurricular stuff. So I went to golf through my school basically. And like they were trying to get more girls into golf. So like going after school on a Friday and go and hit golf balls, and I was just like, "Ooh, I really like this." Like, so then I started coming out on Saturdays and stuff, and I think probably like my my first year into playing golf, I think I played a golf tournament, and typical Florida, it rained, and it was really, really, really muddy and really flooded. I don't even know why we were still out there. And I think like all I remember is just like me and my wet golf shoes and not having a good time and getting second to last place,
Oh my
but I didn't get
gosh.
last.
Oh my gosh.
And I mean that like, horrible weather in Florida, but um that and honestly having a good time on the golf course. Like I remember going out there and like just like doing whatever. Like obviously we were behind our safety lines. The first tee love the safety lines. Go put your club in a cane, okay? But and me eye rolling, it's like, ugh. Like but we were all just out there having fun. We were all like preteens, just we were there to socialize, but like we also loved hitting a bomb every now and then like it slowly, like slowly and slowly, like as we had like our friendships develop and like we actually learned how to like play golf, like then I remember like it was a lot of boys, obviously, like a lot of golf is a lot of boys.
Yeah.
And we would be like, oh, I can outdrive you. Oh, I can outdrive you. So then we would have driving competitions. And just showing up before our first tea clinic on a Saturday, like an hour or two before, staying an hour or two after because we wanted to hang out with our friends or go play quick nine or quick five, like whatever. But I mean, just having a good time. That's like probably the biggest thing that I remember from my golf, like growing up young, but it's also like the biggest thing now too.
Yeah. Yeah. Golf is one of those sports where obviously the old adage, you can play it for a lifetime, but I think now
Hmm.
that we're older, we're in our 20s and I'm getting closer to my 30s, which is that's scary in itself. Um, it's one of those where you can create like beautiful friendships and then you can still have them for decades long and it's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
So obviously I did some research. I'm not a fake journalist, okay? So I did my research. I do all my research on my interview subjects. I came across this LPGA article that was written about you, I believe, like 2, 3 years ago, might be in that time frame, maybe four. Um, and you talked about how you were bullied in elementary school, I believe, and for me too. I was bullied in elementary school, middle school, and yeah, it's one of those things where you just why me? Why me? How did you overcome the bullying at school? And this is one thing I did was that, and I'll just tell a quick side story. One of the guys that bullied me, I'm not gonna name his name because that's not right, but he ended up reaching out to me. He got some legal stuff, and he just apologized to me, like straight up, like after 5, 6 years of just not talking to him, he just apologized to me, and I forgave him. Did you ever forgive your bullies, or have you seen them since?
I don't think that I have.
Okay.
Um, a lot of my bullying, honestly, looking back on it, it was kind of funny too,
Yeah,
because they used to
yeah,
call me
yeah,
Dora. Like they used to call me Dora. I used to have like shorter hair,
yeah.
and hated that.
Hmm.
That's why I don't cut my hair. But they used to call me Dora and stuff. And like I also, when I was in like the fifth grade, like the summer going into the fifth grade, I broke my leg. So the first day of fifth grade, I show up with a huge yellow leg cast. Like it was from my thigh down to my ankle.
Oh,
Um, and like that was a little bit of bullying. A little bit. That was exaggerated. I experienced a lot of bullying with that because like especially when you're in a young age too, like you're 9, 10, like you're learning how to navigate like social things, like social hierarchy, like they're like learning how to like interact with other people and stuff. But I was definitely a very awkward kid and not having any siblings at home. I was always around like people that were in their 40s and 50s.
mhm.
Um, but I think like also I have a very strong demeanor and a very strong like attitude where I like it that those experiences have like shaped me into also having an even harder exterior and like standing up for myself and stuff. But like basically like I had to stand up to them because it was getting to a point where it was endangering my physical stuff because like
Yeah.
I'd be walking down the hallway with the crutches and then they'd hit my crutches or something or they'd hit me. And it's like at that point it's like no, like I can't no. I'm
Yeah.
not going to let you sign my cast after you just tried to like put me on my butt. Like you're crazy. But yeah, I you had to stand up to them
Hmm.
and like at the end of the day, like they're the ones that's gonna have to live with that regret and that pain that they know that that they made someone else feel bad,
Yeah.
you know? And like karma's gonna do what karma needs to do, okay? But at the same time, I also think that bullying is a kind of a universal experience in some regard. Everyone has felt like they've been less than or
Mhm.
something, but like as long as you know that yourself, that you are better than whatever they're saying that you are, and that you're like, that those things are not true and that those things are just outward projection of their insecurities, you just let it roll off.
Hmm.
And it takes a while to get there, but especially in elementary school, you're not thinking that. You're just thinking like, why is this person doing these things to me?
Exactly. Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
Yeah.
And because I did an anti-bullying station, as part of a project I did with First Tee. Um, and my thing was just spread the love, one, and two, create an inclusive community. That's all you got to do. Not that hard, folks.
Yeah.
So I know
Yeah.
in reading the article, and you did mention it, that you dislocated your leg at age 10.
Mhm.
I've dislocated my kneecap twice playing baseball. I can't imagine the pain of dislocating your leg at age 10.
I didn't
Um,
dislocate it. I broke it.
you broke it. Oh my God.
I
Yeah.
broke it and it
Oh,
caused my leg to stop working, like stop
oh,
growing.
geez.
Yes.
So,
So I've had four surgeries from that.
oh
Yeah.
my God. Wow.
Yeah.
So what happened leading up to that injury, and how tough was that recovery, especially, for young kids who are, usually we see NFL players, golfers, whatever, basketball players,
Mhm.
dislocate the knee. Okay, they'll be back in 9 months, 10 months, 11, 12
Yeah.
months. But for you at age 10, how tough was that recovery? And what happened?
So on my 10th birthday, that is when I broke my leg.
Okay.
Um, I used to have a trampoline in my backyard,
Hmm.
or my grandparents' backyard, and um, we were jumping, me and my cousin on the trampoline. I had socks. Of course, Florida's humid. That does not cause to be a great scene. And he had done like a front flip or something like that, and he landed wrong. So I was freaking out. I was like, "Oh my gosh, my little cousin!" Like, you know. So then I went to like jump off of the trampoline really quickly, and I would just jump off of like the edge rim,
Right, right.
and I jumped off and I slipped in between the springs, and I was hanging on like Superman by my leg, and I landed like right on top of my knee. That's why they thought it was a dislocation at first. But I was hanging there for like a good like 5 seconds. My uncle and my grandfather rushed over to come pick me up off of the thing, and they dragged me inside, and my mom's like, she's fine, because no blood, and I
Right,
should be fine.
right,
I
right,
also had never broken anything. I had never been in
right.
the hospital other than
Hmm.
for my birth.
Hmm.
I was a very healthy kid. But then my uncle was like, no, like we need to take her to the hospital now. They ended up taking me to the hospital. I was rushed into surgery. They tried to they what they thought was a dislocation. Like they did a little surgery to try and help it, but then they with like a little bit more x-rays and stuff, they found out that I actually had a hairline fracture on my second growth plate. So you have four growth plates in all of your limbs, and mine was the second growth plate, so the one right on top of my knee. It
Oh,
stopped, like it had a hairline fracture on it, which
oh,
was, and when you're 10 you still are growing and stuff,
yeah.
and it was endangering me not being able to have my leg grow.
Oh my
um
God.
and so then they had another surgery the next day. They put in two pins into my legs like this, and like they were coming out of my leg, and then they put a full leg cast on from my hip to down my toes, and I was basically bedridden for, I want to say it was, I know I had full leg cast for at least 7 weeks. And then, um, yeah. And then they eventually took out those pins, no anesthesia. Didn't know that was a thing. They took out the pins, and then it was working for a while. Like they did that surgery so that way my leg would start growing again. It worked for a while, and then when I went back for another checkup, they said that like my leg stopped growing. And at this point, I'm now like close to 11. I still have a lot of growing going, and I ended up like having to wear a lift in my shoe, because I started like getting like my hips were going like this, because my leg was shorter. My thigh basically wasn't growing, and my body was. So then um they were like, around when you like hit puberty and stuff, that's around when you stop growing as a woman. Um so around my fifth, just before my 15th birthday, they put they gave me like three options. They were like, you either wear a prosthetic shoe for the rest of your life, because I had 27 millimeters difference, which is almost an inch.
Hmm.
And they were like, you either wear a prosthetic shoe, um you uh we shave down a little bit of your right leg, or you can get a leg lengthening surgery. And originally, leg lengthening surgeries are like that huge cage. Like when you have a compound fracture, you have that
Yeah,
huge cage.
yeah.
Um, Usually it's like that where they break it. But they had come out with a new technology, that basically I put like they put a rod into my femur, and they cut my femur, And then the rod had magnets in it, and then it came with this device that I would put on top. Like I had a mark on my leg, and they would, and for 27 days, I did a quarter of a millimeter 4 times, so it was 1 millimeter a day, for 27 days, and I was bedridden, basically walking around with a broken leg, like a severed femur,
Wow.
um, for a while, and then they I ended up like recovering from that, and it was so new they weren't sure if I was going to be able to keep it in my leg, and like a year and a half later, so at that point I was going to be turning 16 soon. Or no, sorry, 17. I don't even know. December of like the following year. Um, it was getting like the hooks and stuff, like the screws and stuff were like getting caught on my leg, like on my skin, and it was causing me a lot of like pain. So then they ended up taking it out. But then that was that. I thought that I was fixed. And then when I was playing college golf, I ended up pulling my back really, really bad. Really bad. Yeah, like I had to withdraw from the tournament. Like the first hole that I pulled my back on, I took an 18 on a par five. Yeah, it was very bad. And I ended up like going to the chiropractor when I came back, and he was like, "You're off balance again." I was like, "What?" And they're like, "Yeah, like you grew again since your surgery." So it's not as bad as last time, but I will eventually have to get another surgery in the future.
Oh my God. And
Yeah,
I'm not laughing. I'm not making fun of you folks, okay? For
yeah.
everybody's gonna look at
No,
my
no, no,
facial
astonishment.
expressions that entire time. Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow. You're a
yeah.
trooper,
And in
girl.
the midst of all that is when I started playing golf.
You're a trooper. Oh Lord, have mercy. Oh my God.
Yeah.
People are gonna make face or people are gonna make t-shirts. I can see it now. Next first tee event I go, Derrick's meme face. It's gonna be like this. Oh my God. Wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. But you're alive, you're living, you're
I
talking.
am.
It
Yes.
doesn't your personality shows that you're continuing to overcome it. So I'm proud of you.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Lord have
Thank you.
mercy. Why trampoline?
Yes.
Why? Don't get near a
An
trampoline.
ongoing. Yes.
Oh my
But
God.
I got back on the trampoline after I was recovered. Okay.
Oh,
Like
gee.
I did not let that fear dictate me.
Yeah, way to conquer it, but oh my God.
What
Wow.
is that called? Exposure therapy or something like
Yeah.
that. Let
Oh my God. If I heard this in Arizona, I don't know oh Lord have mercy.
Yes.
Wow, that's the most
Yeah.
detailed injury history I've heard. Lord have mercy. But like I said,
Yes.
you're overcoming it. You're continuing to overcome it. So
Thank you.
besides that injury paragraph, oh my God, that injury paragraph in the article, I know you had a coach by the name of Stephanie who has been an influence in your life. How big of an influence does she continue to play in your life, and how did she get you to playing Division II golf?
Yeah. So Stephanie is very dear to me. Her and I bonded because she has a brain tumor. So she had like it's like an uncurable brain tumor. Like she just got out of another surgery, I think this past month, her fourth or fifth brain surgery, something like that. And when I met her, that was the summer that she came to the First Tee, that she joined the First Tee, was the summer that I was actually out and with my surgeries. And I when I was able to come back, and I was cleared to play golf and stuff, her and I really started to bond, because we saw each other as the bionic women, like we both have machines in our body. And she really understood my struggle with like my home life and the way like it is to be a woman, and a woman in golf. And I also started really getting involved in her program, Girls Golf Miami, which is like an umbrella program in First Tee. And like girls golf became very dear to me. I ended up being the first president of, we call it executive eagle of girls golf. So I became very like leadership driven. That's where I found like my love for teaching was with girls golf. And she was like a big sister to me. Like she would come pick me up from my house because I didn't have a ride to golf or something. Like she'd be like, "Oh, you're having a bad day. Like, come on, let's go over." Like she had this huge pig. And like this pig was like 200 something pounds. It was a mini pig, but it was, and I'd come over to her house and we'd like chill with the pig and her dogs and stuff. And like it it was like a big sister relationship, and she honestly like opened a lot of doors for me too, because she was very heavily involved in the LPGA. I mean, she still is. She works for the LPGA now. And she like she was able to put me in contact with the coach here in West Virginia, because she played at a school here in West Virginia as well, and not my same school, but a neighboring school, in the same conference. And she was someone that I was like a big rock with. And like she definitely helped guide me a lot in like a lot of big life changes for me, and she helped mold a lot of my like defining characteristics. And like she's also a strong personality, like I am also a strong personality, and it like the two of us brought each other up. And like I mean, we obviously, with two strong personalities, you're going to butt heads like any sister like type of relationship would. And we definitely had our differences and stuff, but at the end of the day we're good. And like she's a great person to have, and like she inspires a lot of people. Yeah.
Awesome. And praying for Stephanie's recovery too. I mean, yeah, I read
Yes.
part of,
Yes.
her story is detailed in yours as well. So, but praying for her recovery as well. So I know you mentioned girls golf program, and how big of a role did that play in your life? And where did First Tee come into play in that?
So I wouldn't have been able to be a part of girls golf if it wasn't for First Tee. Like obviously First Tee is where I found my love of golf. But First Tee is a lot of boys. Like at least at our place, it was a lot of boys at the time. And that's why like we brought in like my middle school, to like try and bring in girls into golf. And like once I came back, and Stephanie was part of the First Team Miami family, and she brought her program over with her. She brought over like all these girls, and it's like it just changed the dynamic and the way that we all socialized, played golf, coached each other. And it really showed like the impact that women can have at being at a golf course, and women playing golf. And girls golf like just brought me so many opportunities, and like I have a lot of my contacts with LPGA now because of the work that I did with the girls golf. And like I was able to learn how to teach and find my love of teaching because I was teaching other little girls. Like, I mean, I talked a little bit about it at the summit, but I was saying like I have like videos and pictures of me in like tutus and butterflies and wigs and face paints and whatnot, teaching these little girls how to swing a golf club, because you got to make golf fun. And like I think that's where another place that like girls golf has impacted my life is like trying to find the love of golf outside of golf, outside of the act of actually swinging a golf club. So like fulfilling others, being a role model to little girls, you know, stuff like that, playing in tournaments. Like we had a lot of social events outside of golf. Like we'd have a socializing event like ice skating, or we'd have a movie night, stuff like that. And it helped create a family for me, because like I didn't have any sisters. So having a family outside of like my actual household was amazing. Like I knew that I had people that I could rely on and go to, and know that I'd be seeing them when I went to the golf course.
Mm, powerful. What
Yeah.
were some of your favorite memories being part of First Tee as a junior?
Mm, there's some good ones. I mean, I did summer camp every summer. Like I was a not chaperone. You know, what is
Junior
it called?
coach.
Yeah, like a coach, like a junior
Yeah, I did
coach.
that too. Yeah.
Yeah, and so like the summers were always so much fun. Um, we played against First Tee Broward. which First Tee Gold Coast, shout out Savannah.
Yeah.
But we would play with against First Tee Broward in a like a Broward versus Miami match. It would be like match play. We would be paired up with someone else from First Tee Miami, and we'd go ahead and get some points. Like that was always really fun. Um, um, oh, teaching. Obviously, I loved to teach. We this is how I know that golf is accessible for every single person is because of the people that we used to teach at First Tee. We used to teach people that were blind. Okay, I didn't even know that a blind person could play golf, and like, I was young. And we used to teach blind kids. We used to teach to elementary school kids. We used to teach to paralyzed veterans. First Tee Miami, the people that own First Tee Miami, the DeLucas, um, they own a special needs center in Miami, the Sandra DeLuca Center. And so, like, they're special needs kids, like kids with Down syndrome, kids with autism, kids with cerebral palsy, any type of disability, they would come and we would teach them golf. And like we had for like a lot of some kids, they were in wheelchairs and stuff, and even like with the paralyzed veterans and stuff, we had one of those the golf things where you strap and then it would like lift it up, and we would teach them how to play golf. And I just think that like that is another huge thing for me from First Tee Miami is like they really made it accessible for every single person to play golf. No matter your income, no matter where you're from, no matter your physical ability, your mental ability, any of it. Like they really made golf accessible for every single person. Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember, and now we're going to get off track again. Story time with Derrick and Zoila, by the way. I remember, I think it was like our second day, or I don't know. It's hard to lose track because all the memories blend together so beautifully. We had the gentleman from Gallagher, shout out to Charlie Isaacs, by the way, and we did this group. It wasn't a group. I was about to say group therapy session. It sounded like it. I mean, we were just talking stories in there,
Yeah.
just how a lot of our fellow alumni have had to overcome so much. And he brought up his kid, and his kid was diagnosed was on the autism spectrum, had a special learning disability, and I don't know why I spoke. I just decided there's a if you see Pinocchio, there's Jiminy Cricket who's supposed to be I'm the conscious in your head, and so my Jiminy Cricket, my conscious in my head, just was like, hey, just speak up. Rip off the band-aid, just be vulnerable. It's okay. That's why I go to therapy. I love therapy. And I just spoke about my story, be living on, with autism or on the autism spectrum. And, just talked about my life and stuff like that. And then so we sat down and everybody gave me a round of applause. I'm like, okay, thank you. And and I did the unpolite thing. I was basically talking to him, but then I think you guys were like behind me, so I felt like
Mhm.
I was like a leader. I try to turn around and stuff, because I don't like people looking at my back because my face is right here, the money maker right here. Um, so we finish that. We do the activity. I think it was break or something where we can go change or something like that. And I remember we were walking to our hotel room because this hotel was massive, the Arizona Grand National Resort. Highly recommend you stay there if you're in Arizona for spring training right now. Um, we were walking, and then you just pulled me aside and you talked about how you helped out with young people with disabilities, and that meant a lot to me. Just hearing your story because you didn't have to do that, not at all. You just be like, okay, thank you. But I just really appreciate that. I think that's where kind of our friendship started. So I really appreciate
Yes.
your
I
support.
think I
Yeah,
think my question to you that day was really good too.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was
You were a
how do you
journalist.
think?
Yeah.
What?
I said you were a good journalist. You were asking the hard question right off. I'm like, okay, I'll answer it,
Yeah.
rip it off. Yeah.
Yes, but I think that I think I asked like Dave like how has you being on the spectrum like been your power in golf?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. I think your answer was great. I think your answer was great.
What did I said probably some corporate PR thing. No, that doesn't sound like Derek out. I think I told you for the game to grow, and this is just a generic answer. you have to make it more accessible to people because basically Rory has this quote on his Instagram. I'm a guy that just hits a white ball for a living, and I love
Hmm.
this quote. The white ball is not going to know who you are, what your political affiliation is, what your religious beliefs
Hmm.
are, stuff like that. And I think the game is slowly heading towards being more accessible to everybody. And I think, it's a welcoming game.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I just was ready to be vulnerable there and get the tissues out, get the Kleenexes out.
Mhm.
Because it is important to just share your story because everybody has a story and everybody has had to
Yeah.
overcome odds. We don't have a
Yeah.
perfect yellow brick road to the destination that we want to go of your
Yeah.
dreams. Yeah.
100%. Yeah. And you never know by sharing your story and being vulnerable how it's going to impact someone else and how like they might not know that your story and your background it might be very similar to theirs,
Preach.
and it could help someone out. You never know.
Yeah, I could snap. I suck at snapping, so we can just do the golf clap. And I, and I forgot to put this on my question sheet. What national events did you do at First Tee? Like as a participant?
I never did any.
You never did
I
any.
actually
So
never
this
did
was the
any.
first
I
one as
never
an,
did any.
okay.
Other
Oh,
than other than the one at Atlanta, that was my first national opportunity.
yeah.
Because I did a lot of my national opportunities with girls golf.
Mhm.
Because like we tried to do as we had a lot of very good golfers. I mean, a lot of very good male golfers too. So like um a lot of the national opportunities and stuff, if they could, they would send a boy because they knew that the girls would have one. Like that they would have ones that were only for the girls. But I mean, obviously they sent girls too. But there was a lot of girls that were way better players than I was. So that's why they would go play like the pure or like just go do other things. Like there's like John Deere, which is like for STEM and stuff, and like I wasn't in that. But I did a lot of stuff with girls golf
Mhm.
and I did like their leadership academies and I would go teach like the smaller like the younger girls I would go teach them at their academies and stuff. But other than that, I mean, national opportunities not so much with First Tee.
But hey, you decided to meet my crazy you know what at Arizona. Look, now we're talking on a podcast. What a wonderful world.
Yeah.
So I know you mentioned because I think at every First Tee event it's just like your usual, nice to meet you, where you from, how'd you get involved, all those generic
Mhm.
questions that I asked you. I've never been to Miami before, that's still on my travel list, girl. Um,
Oh yeah.
but I remember I asked you, okay, did you play college golf? You're like, yeah, I did. I can't do my best Zoila impersonation because my voice would crack and I can't talk tomorrow. Um, but I remember you said, "Yeah, I go to Wheeling University." I'm like, "What? Where's Wheeling University at?" And she's like, "Oh, West Virginia." I'm like, "What?" So, of course, this question had to
Yeah,
make it.
who even lives there?
Who even lives there? I only know the John Denver song, "West Virginia, come to Mama,
Yeah.
take me home."
And
Um,
actually, he wasn't even actually talking about West Virginia in that. He was actually talking about Virginia, the
yeah,
western part of Virginia. Like, but you know what? It is a West Virginia staple,
it's the state
and we're just gonna
song.
go with it.
Don't tell the Mountaineer fans up at University of West Virginia that.
I know. That's what they sing after every single game.
Of course, of course.
Yes.
So, what made Wheeling University in West Virginia, your college destination? And I know you mentioned you obviously want a new experience outside of Miami, which I think we all do. We want to get out and branch out on our own, out of our hometown. But Wheeling University in West Virginia, well, your college destination, how did that process play out?
That process was weird. Like, I would have never thought that I was ever going to end up here, but I am. Um, I was looking at like a couple schools like in Florida, but to play in Florida at any level is extremely hard. Because like that's where all the internationals and stuff go because the weather's great and there's great schools there. Um, but I mean, I was also looking at like just going regularly to like FIU or something. I was also looking at enlisting in the Navy. Like
Wow.
I was looking at all my options. But when my coach Stephanie had was like, I have a coach that I really want you to talk to. And I was like, all right, yeah. Like she's like yeah, like it's in West Virginia, like it's the coach that I was one of the coaches I was really close with that wasn't at my school, but like I she's like very well respected in the NCAA, like she has a lot of accolades, like I want you to talk to her. So I was like, all right, cool. So I ended up talking to her. Her name was Sue Vale. She's now retired. And she was like, I really want you on my team, like, you know, the whole coach recruiting
Yeah.
spiel. I
Yeah.
was like, all right, cool. And I didn't have any offers outside of Florida, because I didn't really know like how to navigate the whole college thing because like my parents didn't go to college,
Mhm.
and like we had help with the First Tee, like we had I was very fortunate to have the resources to have like a college advisor, like she would help us like wherever we wanted to apply to and stuff, and they ultimately were the ones that gave me a good amount of money. I ended up going on my recruitment trip, and I loved my recruitment trip. I was like, I see myself here. And I had a great time. And I was like, all right, yeah, I need to get out of the Miami bubble. I know that if I stay too close to home, um, like stuff in Miami is gonna distract me.
Mhm.
And I know that if I'm going to commit to playing golf, I need to like be totally into it. And I was like, screw it. I'm gonna sign there. And I signed to West Virginia and I never looked back.
Woo! Wheeling University, go Cardinals, right? That's their mascot. Did I get
Yes,
that right? Go
cards, go
Cardinals.
cards.
All right, yeah,
Yes.
because I didn't know what the logo was, so I just found like a red. I had to type in Wheeling University and gave me like the campus. So yeah, I had to find the logo
Yeah.
for our
No, that
Instagram
that logo
from
is
them.
is the logo. Yeah, I mean, we have the best logo, the best cardinal. Some of the cardinals that I've seen are like super ugly. I'm like, ooh. Look, we have a
Don't
good
tell
cardinal.
Louisville that.
Yeah. I mean, theirs is not too bad, but like there's one that's like a D3. I won't name
Yeah.
names, but it's like a cardinal and he's standing like and he's like and he has like a jersey on and I'm like, this is the stupidest looking cardinal I've ever seen.
Oh, jeez. Now, for all student athletes, no matter, where you live, where you go, obviously the transition to college is not easy. I know, movies make it seem easy. You're fresh, you're the
Yeah.
big girl, big man on campus. Um, how tough was that transition leaving Miami to go to another state, West Virginia, where folks, it snows in West Virginia. If you've never been, pretty area of the country, you must go to West Virginia, but it snows like 4 or 5 at least 3 to 5
Yeah.
months of the year. How tough was that transition for you?
Oh my God. You have no idea. I think the biggest thing for me, not even weather-wise, was the cultural difference for me. Like I mean, Miami is not America. It's not Florida. Like Miami is a state of its own, and anyone from Miami will tell you that. Like, so like like I mean, I grew up speaking Spanish. Like everyone, I would walk into a place and they would be speaking Spanish. Like, but then I come here and like I was having dishes that I've never even heard of before, like beef stroganoff. I never heard of that
Beef
before
stroganoff.
until I got here. And just listening to country music. Like it's grown on me kind of, but that's not on record. And just like the cultural difference was very big for me. The mountains, the landscape. So then now we'll get into the earth. You know, like the landscape was very weird for me. I still am like the mountains,
Yeah.
you know, and like the cold weather, playing golf here was an adjustment. I was taking pancake sized divots because we play bet here instead, and back home we play Bermuda. Um, so like transitioning to the golf,
Mhm.
um, just, like there was so much of a difference for me, and then on top of already being in college, like that's an adjustment in itself.
Yeah.
Um, But I mean, I adjusted pretty well. Unfortunately, my freshman year was cut off short due to COVID.
Mhm.
Um, and like returning after COVID just made school so much different, so much different. I mean, everyone knows that. I mean, it made all of our lives different. Um, but I mean, just adjusting to like school and stuff was definitely um definitely tough, a lot of homesickness and stuff, but
Mhm.
having my team here and coming already into school with people that I knew definitely helped me a lot, a lot, a lot. So, yeah, but I love my college experience. I do think about like, oh, what if I went somewhere else? But I also wouldn't have the amazing people that I have in my life and had the experiences that I did.
Amen. And my best college advice for you, all student athletes coming out of high school, no matter what, because now we got NIL, so of course you're going to throw
Mhm.
dollar signs around. No matter
Yeah.
what the money is in, the financial status in your family, when
Hmm.
you walk on campus and in the first 5 minutes, if you know that's home and you feel it in your gut and your heart and your soul, just like I'm sure you
Hmm.
felt it at Wheeling, I felt that at San Jose State, you'll know that's the right place for you. I'm just
Yeah.
saying. That's the magic
Yeah.
that's the magic bubble. You just need to take that on campus visit, excuse me. We've been talking about golf so much, I got my words mixed up. Um, just take that on campus visit and the first 5 minutes you'll know right away. Boom.
Mhm.
It's home sweet home. Do you have any favorite memories during your playing career being a Cardinal?
Oh my gosh, yes. Yes, oh my God. So I probably think that like my high and like the best was when I won like it was me and my team. We won conference. It was my junior year. Yes. So then we ended up going to the national D2 tournament. There are regional, right? So we went to Kansas City, Missouri. I have family that lives in Kansas City, so they were able to come out and watch me.
Nice.
My dad and my stepmom came out to watch me. It was not a great tournament. Not at all. It was very similar to my first tournament, wet, cold, and second to last place.
Mhm.
And and it wasn't a great tournament, but I had a great time apart from the golf.
Yeah.
Um and there's that and um oh, the Greenbrier. We play the Greenbrier.
Oh, shoot.
If you don't know what that is America's resort, right? It is the first it is one of the first places for there to be a presidential bunker,
Yep.
like outside of the White House in
Mhm.
DC.
Mhm.
So there's like a lot of like American history there. Beautiful course. The it was flooded at one time and then they redid it
Yeah.
and now it's just like in the mountains of West Virginia. It's super peaceful. It's a little small, quite quaint town, White Sulphur Springs. We go there every year. So that's another high. Um, Conference pretty much all the years, especially like my freshman year and sophomore year. Because I made first team my sophomore year. Freshman year was just awesome because you're a freshman, everything's cool. Um, I have so many like amazing memories. I can't even put it down in just to like a couple of them. Like I was traveling all over the place for
Yeah.
golf. Like when you're in golf season, you're gone for like 3, 4 days at a time, and then you come back and you're there for 2, 3 days, and then you're on the road again and you're doing that for like a month and a half. So it's definitely stressful. Most recently, we went to the Solheim as a team. I
Oh,
was able to get
nice.
the team tickets
Yeah.
and we volunteered with girls golf.
Awesome.
Um, and so that was another very big high for me. And I was so fortunate that I was able to give my team the opportunity to do that. At the time I wasn't a player. I was then the graduate assistant, so I was a coach. And just like doing all those things with them because like an LPGA event, especially Solheim, like that's amazing. So yeah,
Yes. And folks, people watch women's sports. There you go. I need that t-shirt.
people do watch women's
People watch
sports.
women's sports. Put that. I
Yes.
need to make a hashtag of that. But yeah, that was at the Robert Trent Jones Golf
Mhm.
Club court. Yeah, it's like two. Or I know
Yeah,
there's
golf.
a,
Yeah, golf club. Yeah.
yeah, and then
Obama is like a member there, like a
yeah,
whole bunch of like huge celebrities and
yeah,
politicians are members there.
yeah.
Very very gorgeous course. Gorgeous course. Oh my gosh. I wanted to play that course so bad.
Yeah, Greenbrier hosted a PJ Tour event back in like for like I think like close to a decade, and then they live golf. Bryson shot a 58 there where he was jumping for joy like he won his third U.S. Open
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Does it count? We don't know because it's only 3 rounds of golf, but of course that's a different podcast for a different show, folks. Um,
Yeah.
so I know you mentioned you were a grad assistant, and
Mm.
I know, obviously when you play sports competitively, there's always an expiration date. Father time undefeated. We've heard that million phrases before. How was that transition from being a student athlete to being a grad assistant coach? And for folks that don't know, and I know that you probably get this question a lot, what is the role of a grad assistant on a sports team?
Yeah, so I mean, it looks different for every single sport.
Right.
But I was the grad assistant for track and field for throwing, and then like I did that for my once I had, because I still had a fifth year of eligibility for golf, so I took my fifth year while being the graduate assistant. That's how I paid for my master's. And then once I was done with golf eligibility, I went and became the golf GA. So it's basically a coaching job. That's basically what you're doing, and you're doing any administrative roles or like helping out the coach in any administrative roles that they need. So like recruiting, getting uniforms, making arrangements, travel arrangements, coaching, stuff like that. It looks different for every sport and every school, but for that, like that would be the gist of it. But it was definitely a transition because since I stayed at the same school, oh, I was friends with everyone. And so like I had to put that professional boundary of like, hey, I'm talking to you as your coach right now. Like you need to show up on time to practice. You need to show up to lift, like, stuff like that. But like also like outside of practice, like, hey, you want to go to dinner like together? Like. So it like definitely having to find that ethical sports boundary with them of like obviously like I have no problem like joking around with you in practice and stuff, but like we're here to work, like let's put our best foot forward. um so that was definitely a hard transition and stuff too, but also it was an advantage to me because I had this great relationship already previously with people that were my peers and that are my friends. So it helped me like talk to them on a different level than a regular coach would.
Mm. Yeah, and it's hard to find that, kind of balance, I think, when you're starting off too,
Okay.
is just trying to be a coach, but also, trying to be, I'm gonna be your big sports supporter, but I'm also gonna be real with you. And
Mhm.
I think you kind of struck that very well. And you said track and field. How'd you get into that?
No. Yeah, no. I didn't do track in high school. But I ended up picking it up my senior year of college.
Wow.
Because I was a NARP. If you don't know what that is, it's a non-athletic regular person. And I was like, I need something to do.
Yeah.
I can't not be doing anything with golf. And without golf, like I can't not be just like sitting on my butt.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of friends on the track team already, and they tried to recruit me to do it my freshman year. And my coach said no. She was like, no, you have to focus on golf. So that's what I did. And then like my senior year, she had retired, and I was like, I'm gonna go throw a big heavy ball.
Yeah.
So I went to go talk to the coach, and he was like, yeah, like show up, we'll tell you.
Wow.
And I ended up picking it up pretty quickly. It was very similar to a golf swing.
Yeah.
So like very very similar movements of the hips, and stuff. So and I was already built pretty strong and like a thrower. So they were like, yeah, you're gonna be perfect. So I went out there and I just started throwing that thing.
Wow.
And that's where we went.
Dang. Wow. Did you do any like competitions or?
Yeah. Yeah, I did a couple of outdoor and pretty much all of indoor. Outdoor was harder for me because it was during golf season in the spring, but indoor wasn't during golf season. So I was all at all of the indoor meets. but indoor throwing is a lot different from outdoor throwing. And also the one that I really love to do is hammer, and that's an outdoor event. So I didn't get to do hammer as much as I would have wanted to, but I did get to do shot. So
Wow. Well, good for you. Two sports star at Wheeling University. And what's the town that Wheeling's in? I want to get the town in there.
wheeling,
Is it Wheeling?
wheeling.
Oh, shoot. So
Yeah.
Wheeling, West Virginia. Need to go visit. What's the
Yes.
population? Do you know?
Not a lot.
Okay. Not a lot.
It's yeah, I mean, it's one of the bigger cities in Wheeling in West Virginia.
Yeah.
But let me put it into perspective for you because
Uh-huh.
this is
Yeah.
how I was perspective.
Yeah.
Um, in Miami-Dade County, so
Okay.
just the county of Miami-Dade,
Okay.
there is 2.2 million people as of like it was like I think it was like in 2020 or something like that.
Mhm.
And in the whole state of West Virginia, there's one area code in West Virginia, 304. And the whole state has 1.2 million people.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Culture
Yeah.
shock. So
Hmm.
now the reason I'm bring, obviously I saved the best questions here for, the important interview stuff for last. Obviously, the where we met, the Alumni Summit, beautiful Phoenix,
Yes.
Arizona, the West Coast, the best coast. So this first question, how did you apply? How did you hear about this, and what made you want to apply?
Um, Honestly, I think I had heard about it when I went to Atlanta.
Uh-huh.
Um, and they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna have a summit. Like, apply." They sent it to all of us, and um, but I wouldn't have known about that opportunity if it wasn't for the alumni platform.
Hmm.
Shout out to my girl Allison because she is the queen of our platform, okay? And she is what makes it possible for all of us to be staying connected. Um and I'm not sure how I even found oh, you know what? I
What?
do know how I found out
Okay.
about the alumni platform because I went to a regional meetup in Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh's only an hour away from Wheeling. Um, so I went to a regional meetup for alumni. I don't know how I heard about that. But I ended up going to that and they ended up telling us about the alumni platform. They were like, if you want to get your pictures, you need to go on the platform. So I went and signed up for the platform and like I was like, wow, this is really nice.
Yeah.
Like this is what we needed for First Tee. And like I just started like clicking on things and whatever. And I was like, oh, these there's some national opportunities. Let me do that. You telling me I can travel on First Tee's dime? Sign me up. So that's what I did. And
That's a great story. And by the way, Allison, LeBron, fellow Miami Heat legend, won a couple championships. Okay, we'll skip over that. But his celebration now is he puts this crown, like it's his imaginary crown. So it's not like, Allison, this is a crown. You're the queen, okay? Okay. So it's not like devil horns. I'm not doing whatever. It's a crown. So just picture that when you.
yes,
And how would you describe the Alumni Summit at Arizona?
thrilling. Oh my gosh, I was literally like on an alumni like summit high for the rest of the week, like the rest of the month, let me be real. Um I had the best. I think that probably is one of my top 5 like all-time golf memories. And I have some amazing golf memories.
Yeah.
And I didn't even freaking play golf at that. Like, I mean, I played golf later on in the week because I stayed, but like, I didn't even pick up a golf club, and it was just like one of the most cool things
Yeah.
ever. Like, I was meeting, and I was able to talk to a room full of 900 people, and like that was the biggest crowd I've ever talked to. I was meeting some amazing influential people. Like I sat at the banquet dinner with the people from Century Golf. Um so I met them, and uh, that I was also like super overstimulated the whole week. And like in shock the whole week because like they were like, oh, you got to be up at such and such time, and you're not going to bed until like you're not done with the day until such and such time, and you don't have any breaks in between, and you're gonna be learning about this, and you're gonna be learning about this, and you're gonna be learning about this nurse, you're gonna be learning meeting this new person, and I was just like very overstimulated, but I wouldn't change it for the world. But because I got to meet all of you amazing people, I got to stay in this nice resort. I got to like meet all these amazing people from all around the world, really, all around the world. I got to hear from some of the most amazing speakers I've ever heard in my life. Like that one guy with the big green question mark. Oh,
Philly
geez. The
fanatic.
Philly guy, the Philly
Yeah.
fanatic guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
His story moved me. I was literally like in the front row crying.
Yeah.
Standing
Yeah.
ovation for homeboy. Hearing from what is his name? The president of the USGA.
Fred Pepperell.
Um,
Mr. Pepperell, yeah.
yes, him and just some of those talks, really all of those talks were amazing. And just the experience that I had that whole day, that the whole time, um, I recommend it to anyone. I just don't see how you cannot have a good time. At least one high from that whole time.
Yeah, I was just I told like I think who was it? Chase or Luke. And one thing about Luke, I'm not making fun of my boy Luke, our boy Luke, but he talks like this to the mic. So when you're in a loud place like this and you get overstimulation, you hear a pink pony girl on the bus, you're dancing, but then
Yes.
you hear Luke like this right here, so he's talking like this. So I couldn't really understand him. But what I was trying to tell him, I'm sorry, Luke. We love you. You're doing good
We
things.
do love you,
We
Luke.
love you, Luke. I know you're doing good things at Campbell University. Um, so when I told him, I told like maybe some home office staff, if you ever seen like it's not a toy, but it's like a viewfinder where you could like scroll. It's like a disc, and you basically see through it.
Yeah,
And
you put it up and then you like click it. Yes, yes,
that's
yes,
how,
yes.
folks. That's how that entire week was because it was like not. And I described it, I think, like in my couple episodes ago, but it was really emotional from a standpoint of like number one, I'm old AF, folks. I started this program when I was 8, and now I'm 27, and then you're like insane.
Wow. Nearly
Two,
20 years of golf. That's crazy.
yeah, and I still suck at it sometimes. I'm an 8 handicap, but that's a
Don't
different
we all?
episode.
It finds a way to humble you every single time.
Yeah. Number two, I think just you always get that imposter syndrome, and I think we get it from time to time, where you just sit in a room, okay, and you're sitting. There's Michael Wilbon from ESPN, and then as a kid watching his show, Pardon the Interruption on ESPN, you're like, what in the fill in the expletive in your head or whatever am I doing here in the room with him? Um,
Yeah.
you just get all those crazy memories, and then I think another one too is just haven't seen people in like 10 years, which is insane.
Mhm. Yeah.
Shout out to
Didn't you
Sarah.
have like a reunion with Chase?
Chase, yeah,
Right?
Chase. I hadn't seen him in like 6 years, and we have a couple more questions regarding the rude situation that happened with a certain club, but we're gonna get into that. Um, yeah, I hadn't seen Chase in like 7 years. Cameron, I hadn't seen in 7 years. Brittany, I saw her more recently when we chaperoned the Youth Advisory Council in Jacksonville or Ponte Vedra Beach, the technical term where the players is at and where PJ Tour headquarters is at. So I haven't seen them. DJ I hadn't seen in 10 years. And Sarah Sonatowski, who I played with at the First Tee Open, is now like the director. I want to get her chapter right at First Tee of Sand Hills, I believe. So shout out Sarah. She just came up to me, I think first night. Okay, I'm just chilling, talking to Chase. What's up, man? Doing the whole bro shake. DJ, what's up? And then I just see this girl come up to me, and she had like blonde hair back in 2015. And her hair, I think her natural hair color is like brown. And she's like, "Hey, Derrick." And there's like 5,000 people, obviously, home office, so I expect to know their names. And then it took me like 2 seconds. So I went, "Ooh," and I'm like, "Oh my God, it's Sarah, what's up?" And that was like emotional because you just don't know who you're gonna see at these events, folks.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's how I would describe it. It was just like a family reunion,
Hmm.
grateful family reunion to be grateful for where you're at in life. Um, yeah, it was just so insane and stimulation. That was
Yeah.
stimulation 10,000.
Yes.
Seeing all these people and then kind
Yeah.
of,
You wouldn't even expect to see them there.
yeah,
Like, and it's like,
yeah,
oh my gosh, you're part of First Tee, and you realize how big First Tee is.
yeah. All roads lead back home, and home is First Tee
Mhm.
forever and ever.
Yes.
So, what were some of your? So, this is going to be a two-part question here, or not a two-part, but we'll both answer this. Favorite memories at the Alumni Summit?
Club 455. Um, yes, Club 455. And party rocking. Um, just yeah, just like hanging out with all of the alumni after hours, and I wouldn't say that was like my I can't like pick one, you
Yeah,
know.
me too.
Um Also being interviewed by Michael Wilbon was an amazing way to conclude the week.
Yeah.
Um Yoga was so much fun. Had a lot really good time at yoga. Um my hike. Oh my gosh. Shout out to Mariana, shout out to
Mariana,
Destiny, shout
Destiny,
out to
shout out.
Chase, Luke.
Luke.
Who else was on that one? I think it was Brittany. I think it
Yeah,
was
shout
just
out
us.
Brittany.
We were the only ones that woke up early enough to go do it.
Yeah,
And we went and we hiked and it was just it was great. It was great. And it was like right there. It was so relaxing to like start the day like that. It just put you on the right note.
yeah.
Um my low for it was like not getting any sleep. But you know what? It's fine. Like nothing that some caffeine can't get me through. So that's my only low.
Let's see. So, folks, I'm going to finally reveal the secrets of Club 455. So, obviously, fourth floor, the hotel, the way it's like, I guess, designed, there's like separate sections. So, like, coaches would stay, coaches and like execs for, or not
There
execs,
was
but
it was like 900 rooms and
900 rooms.
875 of them were First Tee people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
875 of them first see people, separate wings, right? So, we were in the, I don't know what the suite was, Malibu,
I think we were in Camelback.
Camelback Wayne. Okay, folks. So this is first night, okay, or not first night. When we get there, we get our rooms right. I find out our rooms are joined. Shout out to my roommate Kevin Banks, my brother, my tennis brother from Chicago, was my roommate. And the next room right there is my boy Chase Scrubus, who will probably be on the show some point. And then
Nice.
our other brother Mecca, shout out Mecca right there. Mecca could probably
Yes,
dunk on me.
Mecca.
Yeah, Mecca could probably dunk on me, man. He was dunking down in the door frame.
Yes.
Okay, so we do
He's very
that.
calm.
We do a little like orientation stuff, typical first tee stuff, whatever.
Mhm.
Okay, we do like the cocktail reception thing and stuff like that, typical first tee.
Yeah.
I
It was
think
like the alumni social mixer. That's where we got our
oh, nice social
GBL.
mix there, okay. And I think we had an event. I want to say at the not on. I want to call it an auditorium. It was more like a conference center welcoming us. So we come back, we're ready to long travel day, especially for me, hour long flight. Um, so we get back to my room, okay, and then I just talk to Kevin, what's up, and then all of a sudden I just hear like chairs being moved. I'm like, what the heck? So go into the living room. And I just see Chase, Mecca. Hey man, can we get some? We need to borrow your chairs. I'm like, for what? What are we doing? Oh, I invited. This was Chasey. Oh yeah, I invited everybody to the my
To
room.
come over and hang out.
And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, all the alumni are gonna come over and hang out. I'm like, huh? So he just takes like four of my chairs, and I don't think he asked. He just went through because we had the doors. Mecca and Kevin knew each other from Chicago, so Chase and I know each other. So we had the doors open, but he didn't even ask. Come on, Chase, some common courtesy, my brother. So we did
Where are the
that.
manners?
Yeah, no manners, and that was a lot of fun.
Huh?
I got like three more, and then the other one was In and Out because I realized none of y'all have been In and Out, the great California
I've
staple.
been to In-N-Out.
I know
I've been
you
to
have.
In-N-Out.
Caitlin had it. Other people. Cameron, my girl, our homegirl Cameron, man, she was that was like the Mecca to White Castle, the Mecca
Mhm.
to go see Oz. It was in and out was like down the street, but it's this
It
long
was like at the
driveway
edge of the resort.
edge of the resort,
Yeah.
long driveway you had to walk in the dark.
Yeah, we went down the driveway of the resort and then we had to like jump a fence
Oh my God. So
and then walk like a street and we were right there. And
it was me,
second
Grace.
night we found out that the
Yeah.
people could take us in the golf carts to like the edge of the resort. Oh my God.
So yeah, we did that. Oh, and then I'm getting away from Club 455. So the reason I coined the phrase, so I should deserve some commission on that. Um, so we
Period.
would play like King's Cup. For those of you that don't know King's Cup, it's a rite of passage game where you just pour as much. You pick a card. Yeah, if you
Yeah.
get like the king, you
Each card
pour.
has a number,
Yeah, each card. Yeah,
an affiliation to it. Like eight is mate,
yeah,
four is floor.
yeah.
Um, I don't remember the other ones.
Yeah, usually my secret is I pour a little Gatorade to make that a little smoothie right there.
Oh
So
yeah.
I did that, and then shout out to AB, my brother AB, funniest one of the funniest
Maybe.
there. He decided to text Allison, who, by the way, Allison, who's in charge of our alumni, program at
Hmm.
nationally.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this was at like I don't know midnight, 11 o'clock.
He texted the wrong group chat.
Yeah,
That's what it was. It
he
was something weird.
biggest party fell. Hey, where's King's Cup?
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
were like, oh,
No,
dude,
no, no. He said someone sent the rules of King's Cup
that was
in the group
Caitlin.
chat.
That
So
was
we
Caitlin.
all had the rules on our phone, and Allison was like, "Where's this happen?" And then she got offended that we didn't invite
That was,
her.
that was like Lynn's sister, Caitlin. Yeah. And then the third one was getting introduced to Chapel Roan. I'm the biggest Chapel Roan stan now. Because we were on the bus with like these other, First Tee home network office people, and we just hear like a beat. I think it was like "Hot to Go."
Yeah.
And I just see Caitlin not sitting on the bus, by the way. She was standing, folks, while the
Yes,
bus is
because
in
that is
motion.
what we did in Atlanta. We were like going up and down the aisle,
Yeah.
singing and trying to get these kids hyped up.
And then, then the last one. So, you know how we had disposable cameras, folks, for people that don't know, for First Tee National Office social media. I actually
Shout
thought,
out Taylor.
yeah, shout out to Taylor, social media for First Tee. I actually thought that Destiny and Caitlin, Lakeland Caitlin, because we had two Caitlins, Caitlin from Indiana, shout out to Caitlin from Indiana. I thought they did not have cell phones. So I thought the only reason they had the disposable
That
cameras
they had those.
because it was theirs.
Oh my
Because I was not
gosh.
there when that exchange happened, when, hey, we'll throw you a disposable camera. So I thought
Yeah.
for 48 hours. I thought that
Oh
was,
my gosh. That they didn't have a phone. How were they getting all of our messages?
I was so stupid.
So they had phones. And actually, shout out Destiny. She's a very talented
Oh,
photographer.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Follow her, Destiny to Win. I think it's Destiny to Win on Instagram. But yeah, I thought they did not have phones for like 12 hours. I don't know
Oh
why I
my
thought that.
Derrick, man. Come
Oh,
on.
uh, from the Android
Everyone
snafu,
has a phone nowadays, even if it's a Samsung.
from the Android snafu to, yeah, no, it was just a lot of fun. Um, and I know you met, did you chaperone a First Tee event? I think the Atlanta one, right? Or,
Yeah, the Atlanta one. Yeah, that's where I met Carrington, and that's where I met David and Jay,
yeah.
and Caitlin and Savannah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's I knew Caitlin before we even came in because
Yeah.
we chaperoned together. Yeah,
Do you have a favorite memory of chaperoning those events or that event?
everything was amazing. That like that's when I really like it really opened my eyes that like First Tee can like offer you so many opportunities. Um, but we went to the Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
We went to like an aerial course. That was super cool.
Mhm.
We went to the training facility of the Atlanta United. Um, we were staying in the dorm, not very pleasant. Of Georgia Tech, but I mean we were
Yeah.
on a cool campus.
Yeah.
Um, there's that. What else? Um, the Oh, we went to the Arthur M. Blank Foundation.
Mhm.
And like that foundation building is exceptional.
Yeah.
Like it is probably one of the most beautiful, like it's like a house, but it's not. It's like a corporate building, but it was like one of the most beautiful pieces of architecture ever. Um, so that was really cool. And just like meeting all the kids, like 'cause, I mean, I was like in their position at one point, and being young and in first tee, and it's so exciting to see like them now, and then now keeping in touch with them on social media, and
Yeah.
like now we're almost a whole year since I've seen them, and
Yeah.
like they've already all changed so much. Like some of them are graduating, some of them are already in college
Yeah.
playing college golf. So like being able to connect with them and really kind of like look at myself again, like
Yeah.
at their age and
Yeah.
reflect on that, like was amazing too.
Yeah. Chaperoning, my gosh, that is a different experience in
Yeah,
itself. So I always
it
give a
is.
massive um amount of respect to home office staff. Shout out B Luna. I haven't given Brandon Luna a shout out yet.
Yes, we have B Luna, B
My
Luna,
boy.
B Luna.
My boy B Luna, my favorite Yankee fan. I could just go on and on about the Yankees and his New York team and UConn, by the way, his UConn Huskies, all day with him.
UConn.
Um,
Oh
so
yeah,
yeah,
we met basketball star Maya, geez, what's her last name?
Maya Moore, the
The
legend.
Maya
Yeah,
Moore. Yes, we
the
we heard
icon.
from her, and
Yeah,
her speech was amazing too.
yeah. She
We
does a
met
lot of
her.
charitable work and
Yeah.
she's powerful. So I
Yeah.
chaperoned Montana, rode a horse for the first time.
You
Jacksonville.
chaperoned Montana?
Yep, Chaparral, Montana, 2021.
Oh,
West Creek
that's the one I
Ranch, Arthur
want.
Blank, with our sister Carrington. Um,
Yes.
I had to save a participant's bag. I'm not gonna name names. She knows who she is, but her golf bag got lost at Dallas on the flight, so I had to stick
Oh
around.
no.
I had to be Superman, and luckily her golf bag made it in time to
Mm-hmm.
Montana. That was a lot of fun. The Youth Advisory Council was a lot of fun because it was a smaller, intimate group. Got to go to TPC Sawgrass. Almost overslept for. That was a horrendous chaperoning error on me, folks. I almost overslept like the first activity. I took a
That's
nap.
bad.
That's bad.
That's
Yeah.
bad.
No, I got shout out to Sandy, by the way, from home office too. She's calling me, Brittany calling me up, and I look at the time like, oh my God, we got like 10 minutes before we or 5 minutes before we bounce. So I just like had to do the
Get
Superman
ready
and
real
put
quick.
on change real quick. Luckily, I made it with like 2 minutes to spare. That was an impending disaster waiting to happen. But chaperoning is a lot of fun, folks. I'd recommend it if you're in the first team program. Um,
100%.
Couple more questions, Zoila. What advice would you give to your younger self?
It gets better. It gets better. Um, definitely, like I went through a lot of struggles growing up, whether it was my family, like health issues, friends, and definitely molded me into the person that I am today,
Mm,
and I'll never change that.
mm,
Um, but definitely has had a lot of low points in my life at that time. So like it definitely gets better, and like I think that young Zoila would be very astonished with where I'm at right now, even if current Zoila is not.
yeah.
But I would definitely tell her like it gets better, and like to just keep trusting your gut and just keep going and like take off every opportunity that's ever possible to you, and go and seek out those opportunities, which I think that I have listened to myself
Hmm.
do that, because if you don't ask the questions, the answer is always going to be no.
Yeah.
um so definitely like ask questions, be outgoing, look at all opportunities, and don't just pick the first one. I think that would be another one too. But yeah, yeah, I
I
think that
like
was
that.
what I could tell her.
I like that. The worst answer is what they could give you is no. And that's what I always, especially for job opportunities too, because it's such a struggle to apply for jobs out of college. So nobody
Yeah.
submitted question and answers on social media. I think they're too busy buying their Jimmy Butler Warriors jersey. Oh, too soon. Sorry, Heat fans. So I bring back a time-honored tradition. You get to ask me a question, one question, anything at all, and I'll try to answer it as honest as I can.
Oh, geez, you should have told me this.
It's
Then I
okay.
would have. I
I
would have
I
really
like
thought
surprises.
about
It's like
it.
first tee. We gotta, rapid fire. Get out of your comfort zone. Thrive in the uncomfort zone.
Okay. What do you think is which first tea experience has molded you the most and like was your aha moment? You know?
You see, my hair is going up because that's wow. That's a deep question. Very good question. And I did not write that. Okay, AI did not write that for her. That was all Zoila, by the way, in West Virginia. Which first tee experience molded me? Jeez. I don't like ranking the national events that I've attended, and I've been fortunate enough that I went to six as a participant. Yeah, well, I guess seven if you count the alumni summit. I've chaperoned two because I think all of them are different emotional experiences in itself, and you just you get to meet new people, which I love doing. Um, wow, we might be here all night thinking, and it might be Monday already by the time we answer this. But I think for me, I would say there's like I always put 1A, 1B. I know people are like, oh, you can't overrank it, boo. Um, First Tee Opens one because I had to overcome a lot to get there. I lost my grandfather earlier that year in 2015, back in January. He passed away. He had kidney failure. Ended up unfortunately passing away of a heart attack, and it's been 10 years since he's passed, 2015. So to overcome all that, and then I was basically depressed, so have depression, anxiety, still manage it somewhat. I think we all have anxiety in our own way. I think just getting to that first tee at Pebble Beach on a course that I grew up going to, 40 minutes away from my house, it meant a lot to me just to represent my community, being half Chinese, half Mexican, living on, being diagnosed on the autism spectrum, representing Salinas, California, my hometown, which I'm proud to say I'm from, which is a
Yes.
community. And I know people are like, "Oh, so you live in Pebble Beach?" No, I don't live in Pebble Beach. I'm from the county that the course is on.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
biggest. Look at a map, folks. You see Salinas right there in the middle of the sea. Um, so yeah, I think that one. And I missed the cut. I'm not afraid to say it. I had some great shots, some poor shots. My last tee shot.
Yeah.
I hit it down the middle. The marshals never saw it, so I think a bird picked it up on hole number nine at Pebble.
Oh
But I think
my.
that one was rewarding in itself because of just all the adversity that my family and I had to overcome, and it felt like I already
Yeah.
won the week without even winning the tournament.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously, the I did this event called the RBS Achievers of the Year, where I became open about my story, and I ended up winning a $5,000 scholarship. So thank you, First Tee RBS. Went to New York, did the Ice Bucket Challenge in Times Square when that was popular. Yeah, I know, in front of the world, in front of the entire world in Times Square. So I did that. It was free. Oh, luckily it was hot. It was in August, but yeah, it was freezing. That's where I met Cameron back in 2014. So yeah, there's that one. There's the Outstanding Participant Leadership Summit where I met good old Chase, where Chase had the. I'm not gonna make fun of you, Chase. Okay, I know Mrs. Scribus, his mom's gonna be watching this, but he had like these filtered like glasses looking like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and then to see him,
Goggle glasses.
yeah, the goggle, a little bit goggle glasses. I have the photo. I have the photo on my phone. And then to see him 2 years later to play at the First Tee Open, the Pure
Mm.
Insurance Championship, now I know it's called, was special. And then obviously to see him again last year
Without the goggles.
without the glasses. Oh, I'm Chase, and his voice got deep.
Yeah.
So
A
that
whole man.
yeah, that Dallas event was special because that's where I created my anti-bullying project, and it made me believe that okay, I can do anything. I'm just at that time I was 17, 18 years old, And
Yeah.
that's where I believe I could. Dreams are unlimited and limitless as long as you put in the
Hmm.
work. As long as you just go
Hmm.
for it. If you fail at it, great. As long as you can live with that failure and learn from it, then
Yeah.
you're successful in my book. Um,
Period.
and then obviously the alumni summit too. I think that was just like a not a cherry on top because I'm always going to continue to get back to my home chapter and the program. But to me, I think it was just a perfect way to just kind of full circle together all these memories, and now you're seeing these young kids who were probably like barely born when I started in the program. I hate to say that because it makes me get old.
Yeah.
Yeah, uh, I try to answer that as best way as I could, but it's just really it's emotional when you think about like deep in the archive of
Yeah.
my brain.
Just how much First Tee has been able to give us,
Yeah,
really, like the opportunities and like a lot of the things that we ever did in golf would have never been accessible to us if it wasn't for programs like the First Tee and what the
right.
First Tee has been able to give us. Like I would have never been able to afford or even step foot on a golf course if it wasn't
Yeah,
for that.
yeah.
So
True.
yeah.
But thank you for asking that. It made me think, and I'm going to cry my eyes out after I stop the recording. So we're going to get into the last couple questions here before we wrap it up. Which team will win a championship first? So these are all, South Beach themed here. Which team will win a championship first? Inter Miami, okay. Miami Dolphins, okay. They're a good young team. Your Miami Heat, who, thank you, Jimmy Butler, were I think 5-1 now since they beat the Mavericks earlier today.
Yeah.
Uh, Shout out to Andrew Wiggins, by the way. You get to eat in the Bay Area for free, my brother, for that 2022 championship. Um, the Miami Marlins or the Florida
They're
Panthers?
last. Um, I want to say the Panthers because they've been in the last two Stanley Cups and has won the last Stanley
Yeah,
Cup.
yeah.
I want to say the Panthers. I don't want to say Inter Miami, but I I should just get free tickets to this freaking all the games because of the emotional damage that they did by taking my course.
Yeah,
But they have exceptional soccer players, football players, and I mean, how can you not win a game when Messi is on the field? Like, and also like they've made a lot of like strides with sports history in there with like Messi being the first person to ever play on the team and also own portion of the team.
yeah,
Redefine like sports contracts and stuff.
yeah.
Hopefully it gets into women's sports soon. Um, but yeah, I would have to pick between those two. Unfortunately, the Miami Heat has gone a little bit downhill since the big three, and then I know we had Jimmy, and now he's gone. But
He moved to
we
brighter,
still
brighter
have good
sun this
players.
year. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, we still have good players like Tyler Hero and stuff. So we there's still hope, don't rule us out. Miami and Marlins, like I said, is gonna be last because they can't play. Ironic because they're all Hispanics.
yes,
Um, I don't know. um, yeah. And then the Dolphins, like they're just like,
yes,
they'll always have their Don Shula unbroken 74 record. Okay.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Undefeated 1972, and the
yeah,
Chiefs. You can't do anything about that because you didn't get a three-peat. And
yeah,
it's amazing to see like all these adult men, grown men like myself, who I love soccer. Messi, 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 Messi. Oh my God, Messi,
yeah.
Messi, Messi. Can I get Messi? Can I get an autograph? Can I get a piece of you? And I'm like, dude,
Yes.
calm down, man. He's just a
Like, for real.
dude. He's my
For
height.
real.
Like I could get a
Yes.
tattoo on my leg like him, and then you guys would be chasing me around. Like, oh my God.
Oh my God, I see all the time in like that we have this Instagram in at home called Only in Dade.
Yeah.
It's run by Marcelo Hernandez, the guy from SNL.
Right. Yeah.
But Only in Dade has been there since like I was in middle school. Like it's very old. Um, but they show all the time like celebrity spottings and whatever, and Messi will come up on there sometimes, and it'll be like Messi spotted in Publix buying fried chicken. It's just
Oh, he's at a
crazy
Whole
as
Foods.
fuck.
Like, oh my God, great.
Yes.
Jeez.
Like they're just like us.
Lord have mercy. Yeah.
Yeah.
She said my water bottle, Bessie, please take this. It's my water. Like, please,
Yeah.
come on. What are your future plans?
I don't know. Um, that is a very loaded question from, I'm a recent college grad. It's a very loaded question. Um, but right now I am in the process of doing my application to start my LPGA certifications. So if that's not on the cards this year, then I will definitely start it next year. Um, that I plan on moving from West Virginia by the end of the year, back down south. Um, good job.
Like obviously,
I don't know if that's I don't know if that's in the cards, but I'm hoping it is.
it will be.
Um, and you know what? It is in the cards. It is in the cards because the universe and God are going to work in exceptional ways for me.
Yeah.
And I know that it is. And so yeah, definitely something in golf. Definitely want to work in golf. My ultimate goal in my life, in my career, whatever, would be to work with girls, underrepresented communities, and people with disabilities and get them into golf. That's my ultimate goal. And if I could work for a nonprofit or start a nonprofit that's like that, or like pair up with other other organizations, obviously like the First Tee,
Mhm.
and get people involved in golf like that, I think that is what will be the best thing for me. I think that'll be what's fulfilling to me.
Love it. What is
Yeah.
one thing that you would change about golf?
The price tag. Like the stigmas in golf. Like obviously in every sport, like women are there's a gap for everything for women in sports. And so I think that like the gap in women's sports, like how much they show on the LPGA on Golf Channel, how much the winnings are on the LPGA, how many girls are in golf. Um, right. I think within the last year, or maybe it was about the last year, girls golf just hit 1 million girls in their program. So like they have a campaign of 1 million more. So I'd love to get more girls into golf and part of another million. Um, yeah, like I think just like the gender biases and the also like the class biases, let's be real.
Mhm.
In golf, I think that would be the biggest thing that I would change. Um, but I mean, thankfully, we're on slowly the path of accessibility with stuff with like Top Golf that makes it very accessible for people
Yeah.
to play golf.
Mhm.
Stuff like Putt Shack that makes it elevates, mini golf to another level, brings in another set of people. Organizations that make it accessible for kids that would have never been able to, like myself,
Mhm.
to play golf. But little by little, and also like style in golf too, like fashion and like the people that are playing golf are also a very big thing too. The merging of like streetwear or like classic wear, um, coastal wear into golf.
Mhm.
I think that's also playing a big role into it too. Um, but yeah, I think that like just the gender biases and the accessibility to golf is what I would change.
Love it. And then I got one professional, one amateur. Professional is, or no, actually, what it's kind of tied into social media, but we need gifts for like all the LPGA Tour players when I do my pick'em contests and PGA
Hmm.
Tour players too. Because when people type in Brian Harmon, nothing pops up. I have to get a creepy photo from Google, put it next to his name when I do like my little contest on Instagram. Um, it looks weird. Put a gift, get some gifts, folks. And LPGA Tour
Yeah,
too. Yeah, it can't be just like the same Nelly Quarter one from the Solheim Cup from like 5 years ago. We gotta
yeah,
update that.
no,
Update
for
that.
real.
And I think LPGA Tour, I love seeing it grow. I hope they continue to just showcase it on network TV. I mean, that's where everybody, all the eyeballs are at. So I love seeing more of the coverage going on network TV. Amateur wise, I would love to see lowered rates. I think this is just a generic golf one, but lower rates, especially for young people. And that's, luckily a few
Mhm.
fun course that we got over here. First Tee, girls golf. There's a lot of great programs, PJ Junior Golf as well. And also shout out to the NCGA yeah, Junior Tour. Just more junior golf programs and also tied in some scholarships that, a lot of minority golf players miss out on too. They just try to have those
Mhm.
avenues as well.
Yeah.
Dream artist you want to see in concert?
An artist,
Yeah.
SZA. I want to go to the SZA and Kendrick Lamar concert.
Yeah, that
That
I tried getting tickets. It's like 450, 60. I'm like, yeah, I'm not losing
yeah,
half my paycheck on that.
for a nosebleed. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would love to see SZA before I die.
Well,
Then I
extreme.
could die peacefully.
Besides how I keep tagging all my sisters and the alumni summit, Chapel Road. We gotta meet
Yeah.
somewhere. If she goes on a world tour, we will meet
Oh
somewhere.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't care if you guys put me in a tie-dye shirt or tie-dye outfit or give me a wig,
Yes.
fit this big
I need
head of
Chapel
mine.
Roan.
Yeah, get some beads on. We will go. I
You
can't do
need to have
fest.
your pink pony outfit.
Yes, but I can't do festivals though because I don't want to be standing around for 10 hours just to wait to see her. I'm more of a come to an arena near you, stadium near you. I'll show up and we'll be dancing.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yes.
let's see. I've seen everybody. I mean, YouTube, Metallica. Um,
Yeah.
everybody wants to say Taylor Swift. I wouldn't mind going just to
Hmm.
see what the whole business is about. Um, jeez, I would say modern artists. I would like to see Rihanna. Um, yeah, I know she's taking care of kids, and obviously, I thought we were gonna get that Super Bowl. Hey, I'm going on a world tour, and then she had another kid, so congratulations, Rihanna. So I'd love to see her
Yeah.
in concert. But in terms of like rock bands, Pearl Jam right now, I'd say Pearl Jam's on that. So I've seen a lot of
Oh,
people.
mine would be Greta Van Fleet.
Oh, Greta Van Fleet, yeah, no, 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 no,
Yeah.
uh-huh, yeah. Yeah, I don't want to say the
Yes.
whole thought because I don't want to get sued. So don't sue me, Warner Music. My last question that I ask all my guests: what should the audience learn from your story today?
Ooh. Perseverance, I think, would be the best thing. I mean, and also like to depend on the people that you love. I think those are probably the two biggest things. Um, and also to like just trust yourself.
Mhm.
Trust yourself and trust that sometimes being delusional is the best thing because you're like, I don't know how it's gonna work out, but it's gonna work out, you
Yeah.
know? Definitely I think those things, perseverance and just getting through it because you've lived through 100% of your worst days.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And Jared Leto, I have this quote on my wall. Where is it? I have too many quotes on my wall. The absolute biggest breakthroughs in life lie beyond the darkest days. Boom. There you go.
Yeah.
Yaps. Zoila, thank you so much for being on my show. You know how much
Thank you.
our friendship has grown. What's your social media handle so that people can follow you and give you a job right away?
Oh yes, please give me a job. My LinkedIn is my name. Um, my social media is Zoila Herrera. Like, I mean, you pretty much can find my name very easily. It's very unique.
Yeah, get on that
But yeah,
Instagram machine. Yep.
yes.
But Zoila, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And yeah,
Oh,
folks,
thank you so much for
we'll be
having
right back.
me.
Wrapping up the Chronicles from the Upper Deck on the Pink Pony Club, baby, at Club 455. Just don't take my furniture chase. We'll be right back. Welcome back, my friends, to the Chronicles from the Upper Deck podcast. My thanks goes out to Zoila Herrera, who, like I said, it's a growing friendship that we started back in November in Phoenix, Arizona at the Alumni Summit. So, like I said, honored and privileged to have her on my show. Don't forget to follow her on Instagram at Zoila Herrera. And like I said, she's going to be a terrific golf coach. I'm excited to see her career continue to grow, and I know she'll continue to blossom, whatever path that she goes down, go towards. So, like I said, it was an honor and a privilege to have her as my camera moved. No, that was not a ghost. So, thank you so much, Zorla. And obviously, I like to end with this. As you know, the Philadelphia Eagles beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Overwhelmed Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Carter, Cooper DeJean with that pick six. And Jalen Hurts played the game of his life. I think it's time to start putting some respect on his name. And Saquon Barkley didn't really do much, but I think he's the main reason, one of the main reasons why they got there. No sacks allowed by that Eagles O line. So I think if the 49ers should be taking notes, make your secondary a little quicker, make your D line a little quicker, and try to get some O line that are mobile, but also, height wise and length wise are good. So that way they can block the inside and outside lanes for pass rushers. So I think that was a good wake up call for the Niners to know what they need to do in the offseason. And I made a Super Bowl rain. Canton, Ohio, and I've posted it before. You've seen it, but I said Super Bowl champions. LX San Francisco 49ers, and that was made at a Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. So it should be interesting times. And of course, we got baseball kicking off. Um, I know a lot of you have been asking me, what are you going to do with the A's now no longer in Oakland? Um, I think I told my buddy JJ Sanchez, who, of course, the founder of Hack Till We Die Golf. Um, I think I said that. I'm still going to follow them. I know people are going to ridicule me for this, but you can't get rid of a team in 2 days. You can burn their gear all you want, but you're always going to have like an emotional attachment to that team. I'll still follow them to an extent where I'm not going to go to any games at Center Health Park. I mean, I live, what, 2.5, 3 hours away from Sacramento. Um, so for me, I think it's just, I want to see how this comedy show continues to go by the A's ownership, by John Fisher, who, if you've known his record, he can only get stadiums done when he gets handouts. And obviously the Earthquakes have a, PayPal Park. And, right now, it's a solid stadium, but for, as teams get more money and more new stadiums, it's going to become obsolete. And we'll see if John Fisher decides to pick up the Earthquakes and move there. But you see what he's done with the A's. This guy cannot get a deal done. He's inept to do that. I think it'll be interesting to see this whole saga finally come to an end in my lifetime. Um, I think my prediction of how the A's Stadium saga is going to go is that Vegas, it's all going to fall apart. And I think you're going to see two things. Either a Bay Area investing group led by Joe Lacob or by another dude or gal that has a lot of money in the Bay Area are going to buy the A's, or you just to see John, here you go, I'm going to sell it to Vivek Ranadive and keep him in Sacramento. By the way, it's just sad to see one of the greatest brands in all the game get, self-destructed because of a guy who does not know how to handle money in terms of putting his own money into the project, and a guy that was born on third base with everything that he's wanted, and he continues to throw it down the drain to get great. And it's just sad. Um, but like I said, that situation still should be interesting. As for the actual team itself, the baseball, I think the A's will finally get over 500. I think they're about a year away from going back to the playoffs. I think they just still need a couple of their young guys to step up. So we'll see. I mean, this baseball season is going to be bizarre in itself. It's going to be weird. I think it's just going to be Dodgers, Yankees, and then everybody else. And I know people want the salary cap. If you want the salary cap, just go ask your owner to spend money on the product. Simple as that. Case closed. But thank you for watching and listening to the Chronicles from the Upper Deck podcast. You can now leave this audio and visual wonderland of mine. And don't forget, I will be putting the donation links to help out. Um, the city of Los Angeles and the surrounding communities that were hit hard by the wildfires. Because, like I said, although the fires have been all contained, the rebuilding and the recovery efforts are ongoing and well underway. So please help if you can, donate as much as you can to these organizations that, like I said, I will put in the YouTube bio, and I will also put in the podcast link. So thank you so much. Continue to stay safe and healthy. Continue to spread the love in this divisive world. And I'll see you next time on the Chronicles from the Upper Deck podcast.